Hi nail besties, I hope you all are doing well. So today's video I'm going to show you how to do Buildergel extensions. I'm going to explain every step of it, and before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, if you like this video, please like, share, comment. Okay, so now let's begin with the video. My model here is my friend today. So she has a little crooked nail, the middle finger, as you can see it's a slightly crooked. So I'm going to explain how to attach tip on such nails. Okay, so before we go to the tip application, we have to start with our dry manicure. So for dry manicure, as usual, I'm using my electric file. So as you can see, I'm using a flame bit with red abrasive mark. Okay, so this is like kind of my go-to bit. I like flame bits more than any other shape of the bits. Okay, so first we start like kind of removing all the dead skins around this cuticle area. At the same time, we also use the bit to push back the cuticle. Okay, so here if you notice, I did not use any orange wood stick or cuticle pusher. I directly started with my e-file. So if your client has like a really nice open cuticle, it's not like very sticky or stubborn, then you can directly start with your electric file to start kind of doing the cuticle work. If not, and then obviously we'll either use our orange wood stick or our cuticle pusher to kind of push back the cuticle, and then we use our electric file to file and remove all the dead skins around the cuticle area. So this is a mandatory step. So I often get questions from people why my extension is not lasting, or I'm washing my hands, or I'm touching water and it's coming off. So the main reason, 80% of the times, it's because you are not doing the prep work right. So if you don't do the prep work right, that's when the extensions are gonna fall off. Okay, so just make sure you're taking your time and removing all the dead skins, and you're pushing back the cuticle. You're also making sure that there is no shine whatsoever on the nail plate also. Okay, and then you follow the steps that I'm going to show you in this video. So after using the flame bit, I did the cuticle work, and then I switched to a sand band here. So this is a 240 grit sand band. Okay, so whenever we are using a sand band on the natural nail, just make sure they are the right grit, because we don't want a 100 grit sand band on the nail bed. Okay, so you can use either 180, 220 or 240 grit. So the one I am using is a 241. This time my e-file is not running on a high speed, it's just at 4000 rpm. Okay, whereas when I was using my flame bit, it was at 18,000 rpm. Okay, just be careful you are not over filing the nail plate. If you over file it, you are going to damage the nail plate. After filing off all the shine from the nail plate, I am using my cuticle nipper to gently clip off all the keratinized dry dead skin here. So just make sure you are not cutting into the live skin. Also remember, you have to use a really sharp nipper, not the dull ones, because that will obviously hurt the client and it will not cut the skin also. Just make sure you have like really sharp one, and also you have to sterilize it after every single use. Now the next step is to clean the nail plate using alcohol wipe. So the wipe I am using, it's a lint free wipe, and you can dip it in the alcohol and then clean the nail plate. Now let's look at the tips that I'm going to use. So I will be using these tips today. So these are kind of a deep curved square shape. So basically this tip will create a beautiful C curve, but we are going to do almond nails, so it doesn't matter. So like I said, since we have a crooked nail, so we have to look at the finger bone here, and then you can mark the center of the nail. Okay, so you have, when you attach the tip, you can also mark the center side of the tips as well, so that the center side of the tip and the marked center side of your fingernail is matching, and then you can attach it. So it might look like a little weird when you do that, but trust me, after you finish your application, filing and shaping everything, the nails will look like it's straight aligned. Okay, so that's how we fix crooked nails here. And another thing, when we are measuring the tips, you have to make sure your tip is reaching from left side to the right side all the way. Okay, and you don't put pressure to make the tip reach from side to side. Okay, so that is another thing. In case if you don't have the exact right fit, you can always go for one size bigger, and then use your file to gently file off the excess length. Never ever go for like a tight smaller one if you don't have the right fit. Okay, so once you have all the tips measured, you can keep them aside, and then you can attach them one by one. Now let's start attaching the tips. So here I'm using a nail glue. This is not my favorite nail glue, to be frank, because this one was literally giving me headaches, because this was not really drying quickly. Because of that I have to like spend a little extra time. So when we are at a time crunch, we don't want the glue doing this to us. So just make sure your glue is like fast drying. Just buy a good one. I had a good one which like kind of I ran out of that glue, and then I had to work with this one. And this before it used to work well, but now I don't know, for some reason this wasn't working. So as you can see, I had to hold it for like a really very long time. Normally it only takes like 2-3 seconds to attach a tip, okay, but this one took like 20 seconds, which is like adding to my service time, right? So after attaching the tips, now we can like trim the length as per your client's requirement. So I'm going to cut down the length here using the tip cutter, and once this is done, then we are going to reshape it, and then we are going to start with the next product. After trimming all of the tips, then now the next step is we need to blend it with the natural nail plate, okay? So just make sure you're not filing onto the nail plate. You only have to touch the edges of the tip that you have attached. And if you're using a sandband like mine, then make sure you are not like filing at one area for longer time. You have to keep moving that, otherwise your client will feel like kind of burn, okay? And also you can file off all the shine from the tip that we attached, and then you can do your reshaping and all. So reshaping, I think I used my hand file. After blending it, I decided to go with the almond nails, like I said. So I'm using a nail cutter and carefully I'm cutting the edges. So the nail cutter is a good tool to kind of create a perfect almond, okay? So as you can see, just by clipping those corners, we can already see the almond forming here. But just make sure that you're not over cutting it, then you have to like remove the tip and redo it again. So just make sure you know, you're not over cutting it, okay? Now using my hand file, I'm just going to blend all the corners and just going to create the perfect almond shape. After this, clean the nail plate with again a lint-free wipe and alcohol. And once this is done, I'm going to start with dehydrator, just to make sure there is you know, no oil or moisture on the nail plate. And after that, I'm going to apply the primer. So the dehydrator and the primer that I'm using here is from the brand called Model Ones. You can use any brand's you know, dehydrator and primer, so but always buy a good one, okay? Don't go for the like really cheap Chinese ones. Now it's time for the base coat, okay? So I'm using TNG, it's an Indian brand. I'm using a thin layer of base coat here, and then I'm going to send it for curing 30 seconds or 60 seconds depending on your light and your gel that you're using. So here I'm only applying the base gel to the nail plate. If you want, you can apply it all over the nail including the tip, but I'm here only applying it on the nail plate. So while the base coat is curing, I'm going to quickly show you the products I'm using. I'm using Bon Pretty's Buildergel, and this brush I got it from Timo. And the consistency of this Buildergel is like little above than a medium consistency. It's a little thicker, as you can see. So when you take a bead from the bottle, now the jar, if the thread that forms between the brush and your pot, if it's too long, it's not breaking easily, then your viscosity is higher, okay? So this is a good product for beginners. If you want, you can check out Bon Pretty's website for this product. And the step number 1 is to apply a slip base, okay? So like I showed you, I took a little product on the brush, and then just like I do the nail polish application or gel polish application, I'm going to add a thin layer to the nail plate and the tip here, okay? Don't let it cure now. This is a slip base. Basically we are greasing the nail, okay, so that when we come up with pick up the bigger bead, it will be easy for us to like move it around, okay? Now I picked up a bigger chunk of bead, and now see how I'm going to release it. And then just gently release the bead to the nail plate, and then push it and then move it from the one side to the other side. So when you push it, just make sure that from the center you are not pulling a lot of product, because we need to also build the apex. Okay, so if you see, I did not touch the center side too much. Okay, I'm just playing on the sides mostly, and then I'm pulling a thread. I'm not detaching my brush from the gel, and I'm connecting and coming all the way to the tip. And then you can turn the finger and just make sure that your product is aligned properly. I'm sorry I couldn't show you that in the camera here. It's a little difficult to show you the other side of the nail, but you understood. You can turn the finger and just make sure your gel is leveled nicely. Okay, and then you can send it for curing. So now the gel is cured, and as you can see, we have a nice apex also. We have enough thickness. So now let's go and do one more nail. Okay, so again I'm starting with a slip base here. Now I'm going to show you a little different approach here. If you're a beginner, you can follow any of these techniques and then you can try which one works the best for you. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a bead. When you pick up the bead, your product should be only on one side, not all over the brush. Okay, so here we have a bead. I placed it a little far from the cuticle. Just do this and then push it, okay, to the corners of the nail, because we want to cover all the area. So now see the apex area, just like this you have to drag towards the free edge area. So now you have a good thick apex. See here how the apex is formed. And now you can either take a little bit more product, or you can use a small brush also, just to make sure the sides are like properly covered. I picked up a little bit more product on the brush, and then without disturbing the center much, I'm going a pendulum movement here. Okay, so from the left, without losing the connection of my brush and the product, I'm just pulling the product towards the free edge, and I'm sealing the free edge, and then you can turn it and see. So here I'm using a small brush to cover up a small area here, and also there was a tiny bubble which I wanted to pop. So for that you can use a liner brush like this. Okay, and then cover it, and then you can send it for curing. So now the curing time for Buildergel is 60 seconds or 90 seconds, and for safety I recommend you can go up to 2 minutes also. Okay, so each layer just make sure you are curing it for at least 90 seconds per 90 seconds per finger. And then anyways you're going to do one by one, so one finger on the left hand and one finger on the right hand. So with each finger the gel is going to go into the lamp like more than one times, right? So it should be properly cured. Just make sure gel has to be completely cured, otherwise the client or if it's you, then you will end up with a lot of allergies. So whenever you are working with the gels, that is one thing you have to keep in mind. So just make sure you have a good lamp, good quality light, and you know how much time it takes for your gel to like completely cure. Okay, so meanwhile I have filed and shaped the extensions here. So I first use my hand file, hard file, and then I'm using a buffer to just kind of blend it, and it all came out really nice, cute like button. And once this is done, you can clean the nail plate, and then you can start applying your gel polish. The gel polish today I'm going to apply a Bon Pretty cat eye gel polish. So this one I just got recently, so I thought why not, let's try this one. So this one does not have any special quality apart from the fact that it's a cat eye. It's a brown cat eye. So nowadays cat eye is like the most popular trend on the nail industry, and even my clients are like, okay, can we have cat eye? So let me know how many cat eye polishes you have. I have a bunch of them. Okay, so I applied it, created the cat eye, and then cured it, and then top coated it. Sorry I did not show all the steps, but if you want to see how to use cat eyes, do let me know in the comment section. And these are the nails. My client really loved it, and even I loved it. So if you guys like it, do let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you soon on my next video. Until then, stay safe, stay happy. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.